Hi guys, happy Saturday. It's the full moon, January 30th. Good evening. So everybody's been focusing on what's going on, and they're not focusing on what's right in front of their faces. The reason why Taco's going to Venezuela and why he cares, why people are basically from Wall Street and investors, including oil companies and other companies as well, want him there. This is the reason why. $17 trillion. 303 billion barrels of oil reserve at the current price, 57.32. It's $17 trillion. So just so you understand, if this oil goes to 100, that doubles. Just so you understand, okay? From 17 to 34 trillion of value, okay? And then gold is 8 to 10 metric tons, which is another trillion at the current price of 4,341. Okay, when you add these two together, you get $18 trillion. So the point here is that's only these two items. It doesn't include the minerals, and it doesn't include the rare earths, it doesn't include any of that stuff. So FYI, it costs money to extract this. It costs money to extract that, and it costs money to extract anything else. So this $18 trillion of estimated value is not liquid. So this is not like cash, okay, you get out of the bank. It costs money to extract it. It's not clear. It's going to be trillions of dollars also to extract it. So you have to less that from the value, just so you understand that. But $18 trillion is what this is as far as a hostile takeover. Okay, so this is more significant than Saudi Arabia, and here's why. There you go. So Venezuela has the biggest reserves, okay, 303 billion barrels, $17 trillion. We just went over the math with you based on current prices at 57.32, okay? Saudi Arabia is under that, it's 15 trillion. Iran below that, 208 billion, 12, just under 12 trillion. Iraq, 145, 8 trillion. Russia is significantly, it's a fraction of that size. It's just literally a quarter, 25% or so of Venezuela. That's the 4.6 trillion. And Greenland doesn't have this oil reserve. It has the minerals. And we estimate that to be, don't worry about the 31. It's really something close to $1.8 trillion. And basically, it's probably significant even more than that, okay? It may be equivalent to Saudi Arabia or even Venezuela as far as the minerals are concerned, rare earths are concerned. So this is just a baseline, okay? Just so you understand, Saudi Arabia, when they did estimates back in the 1920s and 30s, their reserve wasn't $15 trillion. Obviously, that's based on current prices, but the point is that their reserve was in the few trillion dollars, like Greenland, right? One or two or three, and then now it's 15 trillion based on all this reserves. So they can extract it. So what's the next question? How much can they pump out? Okay. And this is what's happening. So Taco is right. They only could generate about 1 million barrels per day, which is inefficient. Okay. Russia is doing, let's just say 10 million. Iraq is underperforming. It's just less than half of that. Okay, Iran is underperforming. Okay, Saudi Arabia is in the same thing. And the reason why, they're also part of OPEC. Okay, so they're part of OPEC, and they're a cartel. They determine how much they want to produce, up a little bit or less. They make that determination in Russia as well. Okay, Nigeria and all these other countries, which Iran is part of it, and Iraq is as well, and other countries that are participating in OPEC or non-OPEC countries. So Venezuela they're only doing 1 million. They're underperforming Iran, Iraq, and obviously Saudi Arabia and Russia, which are basically the gold standard of producing oil. That is the reason why Taco got the green light from these oil companies saying, get us this oil. Get us this oil because we need to generate growth. We need to generate profits. And Venezuela is it. Can you take it over? And that's literally what he did in this hostile takeover. Okay? So he took it over. And this is very important because without Venezuela, a lot of these oil companies are going to be stagnant because they don't have any opportunities for growth. So now $18 trillion of reserves, that's a lot of effing growth. And that's just the oil. We don't know about the natural gas and other things that other companies can utilize, including minerals, as I mentioned. And by the way, oil companies is a euphemism for all corporations. Okay, any corporations that can extract minerals and resources that Venezuela has. Okay, so they're underperforming, and he's going to make them overperform, and that's why he said they're going to be rich. And the question is, are people in Saudi Arabia rich? No, it's the kingdom. Are people in Iran rich? No. Is people in Iraq rich? No. Are people in Russia rich? So this issue about being rich is bullshit. Okay, the people that get rich are the people that control this oil and have access to this oil and sell this oil and make sure that these pipes are continuing. And that was Maduro. That was any dictator, and before him, Chavez. Okay, and so right now, what we need is a democracy. Democracy, no. Democracy, semi. Iran, no. Saudi Arabia, no. So Venezuela, he is controlling it. Okay, so now he's a player. That's what's going on. Because remember, he said that he's controlling Venezuela, which is the largest reserve. And so Taco is basically controlling the largest reserves of oil in the world. Okay? And it's worth $18 trillion, even more than Saudi Arabia alone. And that's very important for us to understand. And the Venezuelan people should be fighting back. Okay? Fighting back against any kind of takeover of the country and its resources, because these resources belong to them. They do not belong to us. Okay, and when he says kicked out, first of all, kicked out of what? So if companies go in there and they're kicked out, that means nothing. That happens as business deals. Okay, so when these companies go in, which is what Taco is planning on doing, this is a big problem because they're going to invest so it can get up to 3 and 4, and I don't even know if it's possible, but it may be, over the next 5 or 10 years, or maybe even longer, for it to get to the 9 to 10 million per million barrels per day. Okay, guys, this is not per month. This is per day. So it takes a lot of infrastructure. So when they're investing tens or hundreds of billions of dollars of money, the reason why they're doing that is because of this $17 trillion. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Please share this, because I think it's very important for people to understand why Taco's in there.